Hey everyone, in this video we wanted to talk about the BMI and whether or not it's racist. So the reason, we're laughing because I mean it sounds kind of silly on the surface, and certainly
but all over social media right now, and there's articles everywhere, right?
That's what she told me, right? That's what she told me.
He didn't even hear about it yet.
And so I'm like, okay, well maybe let me look into this. Let me go and actually find the research that first established the BMI. And to do that, I literally started by going into Google and typing in original BMI study to see what I could find, like what came up. The second link on Google that came up was, the racist history of the BMI. And I was just like, oh my God, this is actually a thing. Like, wow.
I told you.
And so I read their article, and the premise of their entire "it's racist" is basically that the BMI was developed based on primarily European populations, and that it's when you take the BMI at face value, it doesn't work with blacks as well as it does with whites, and therefore it's racist. And that's quite literally the extent of their logic.
Yep.
And it's dumb. Sorry, not sorry.
Well, you have to look at like intentions and how they collected data. It's not like they went around and only collected from white people and excluded like anyone of color.
That's true. There were
like, it wasn't intentional.
Yeah, there were people of color in the studies. It's just that they made up a minority, right? So the
data isn't completely correct for people of color, right?
Yeah, and as an example, when the BMI gets validated against primarily, Black or African American populations, it suggests that some of the cutoff values for like being overweight, for example, need to be about 2 points higher. So 27 to be overweight instead of 25.
And that can be owed to like muscle mass, but
exactly. It's just different, ethnic differences, right? They tend to carry around more muscle mass. So it needs to be higher to correspond to a similar level of body fat.
That has nothing to do with being inherently racist.
Yeah, that's not racist. That's just a limitation of the tool, right? Racism is a prejudice or
it would be
belief.
Them collecting the data and excluding people of color because they didn't want to, right? And then trying to use it on them to exclude for them not to get medical care.
Yeah,
I would consider that more racist.
Yeah, that would definitely be a lot closer. But I mean, the definition of racism is believing or acting in a way that makes one race superior to or inferior to another based on nothing other than their skin color. So the simple fact that the BMI, might need to be modified a little bit to be like extra applicable to people of color, that's not racism. Doesn't even come close to the definition.
What I think too is like Asian populations, their BMI should be less than Europeans.
Well, it is,
right?
in China. In China, the health ministry of China, their cutoff for overweight is, I think, 23.5 instead of 25, like it is in the U.S.
Exactly,
because they're smaller.
It should correspond with your ethnic heritage, right?
Yeah.
To an extent.
So, I mean, it is something that's popular, and it seems silly, but it's just one of those things that's going to keep growing until you address it. So we decided to address it, and it didn't require much addressing because, frankly, the line of reasoning just isn't there. Like, it doesn't remotely come close to meeting the definition of racism, period.
Yeah, so I would do an unfollow for anyone that is claiming that on their Instagram page right now. That it means they're kind of wackadoo and they don't know how to read the literature and they don't know how to think critically. And you don't want to follow people like that.
Yeah, well, they're just doing it to be cool in the current
and to get likes and
political climate.
Use people for that.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's our take on it. If you like this video, awesome. That's what we're trying to do. Give the video a like, share it with somebody who you think needs to hear this. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye. Thanks, everyone.